The 80s were the perfect decade in which to tell the story.
It's 1989. People have sex out of wedlock all the time these days.
I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the era of big hair, the original goth music. I had never really had an opportunity to tell a story at that time, and I was like, I gotta do it.
I had so much fun pulling all these images and these references, making this homage to what she had already put so much effort into in creating this world and these characters.
That's so cute.
I really felt that every department was palpably excited about the creative process and the 80s of it all.
The 80s, the music is everything. I get to sing an REO Speedwagon song in this movie. I get to have good hair.
All the kids are doing it, you know.
It started with the wig and the long hair and the frizz. Catherine loves the big hair.
I don't think that blush is your shade, Lisa. It's so fun to experience the 80s in America and get to see the makeup and hair looks, the costumes.
It's the little things that you get the period across.
Megan, our costume designer, had a really good arsenal of vintage pieces. I got to wear the coolest weird pajamas. The hardest part was how do you find modern things and make them 80s?
All of Catherine's bits are iconic.
A lot of it was taken from my personal closet. I used to wear these shorts with the button up and the brooch right here, and then the blossom hat. That was written into the script. They wanted her to go kind of goth and dark, but keep it still in the late 80s. Catherine really loved the clothes, so we had a lot of fun in that fitting.
Good morning.
Is that Sherry?
No, it's Lisa.
Shooting this movie was a challenge because we had to find locations that felt true to the time period. You don't want to mess up that late 80s architecture, that late 80s color scheme. Our production designer, Mark, did such a great job finding so many pieces in so many places and build on top of it.
We had to dig into the 80s of it. So we talked about palette a lot, and a lot of that, Diablo's got it in the writing. So we use sort of strong colors to sort of heighten the thing and make you realize you're not in a completely realistic suburban context. You don't question for a minute the interiors we came up with.
Throughout the house, it has a lot of different elements, and it's made to look really interesting. It's loud, it's almost bubblegum, very of the decade.
The house is this sort of symphony of pink and seafoam, right? That's Janet's world.
Lisa, did you smash the mirror in the bathroom?
Janet lives in Janet's world. One of the things that Zelda said to me, she said, the way I'm doing the production design, the way I'm designing the house, not a single other person's personality is in one iota of it. It is all Janet. She has created a perfect world and a perfect family in her mind, and she cannot imagine how Lisa would not want to be a part of it.
Do you know what happens to people who act out? They wind up in the loony bin.
It's all a crazy style, but it is just so.
Initially, when I had thought about how is the creature going to be reanimated, I had thought it would be a curling iron that malfunctions. But I knew that that didn't really make sense, and I couldn't really figure out how to make it work. I fondly remember those claustrophobic tanning beds from the 80s, and I thought, oh my God, this is it. The housing for the tanning beds in this shed that is filled with all of Taffy's awards. It's like a shrine to Taffy. It's amazing.
Zelda's idea was, this is Taffy's little world. Janet has given her the shed, so it's all her trophies and all the stuff from her cheerleading, and then the tanning bed in the back. That was a happy accident.
That was actually just that lovely couple's garden shed, and we were like, we're gonna empty this all out and put a taffy shrine in here.
It worked out perfect.
This movie pays homage to so many fun things in the 80s, but it isn't derivative. It has a very strong point of view. Zelda has a really unique eye.
I feel like it's really bringing back the old 80s sense of humor. It's a refreshing throwback.
I can't do that. Not until we bury the body. This movie is so out there and funny. It's so camp. The world is so heightened. I'm very happy being in the 80s. I'm taking it with me.
Bitchin'.